to do 2 poems, but I want to cheat and do this. It's a quick one. I want to do it when it's still fresh. This is a poem I wrote. It's on my Instagram. I wrote it looking at someone's face, like the whole of it. They inspired the poem. Somewhere in Germany, perhaps in a biology lab, revising prospects of a new pandemic, you're unaware of this reality. The moment I'm staring at your Instagram post, wondering what your future is. If you're running to some man after a rough evening, tracing your face with his palm, opening you up to perspectives beauty herself would never realize, even granted a daily infinity before her mirror, as if trying to test her own tongue. I don't doubt when you stare at your reflection you par, but how much do you remember that you're a scar? That's a universe. Your eyes, windows ajar, I'd sneak through and trail my way to your heart. Do you believe in the multiverse? I wonder. The infinite realm of lives generating from both the choices we make and those we almost. Does it occur to you that it's me, the man with whom you do whatever lovers do on an alternate Mars? Thank you. This next one is called 900 Words. I don't know, I just love wearing these while I perform this. To a 3-pound brain, it makes little to no sense how the unpainted background of an exquisite piece of art is as essential as the paint strokes themselves, or how a pen full of ink is completely useless if we don't have an empty page. None could be assigned its worth in the absence of the other. If the brain won't do ass work, that should be directly indicative of the asshole superpower. There's an African proverb that implies that the hunter will always get the glory of the hunt as long as the lion does not learn how to speak. I bet each of our body organs performing life differently would perceive itself as the head of stuff that life has to offer, all due to unawareness of the ultimate relationship between all weird existences. But because the brain does the thinking, it therefore dictates the talking and affirms itself out loud as the most important part of the structure. If all life was an exaltation of humankind, and everything else was created to obey, why then the need to tie down a bull as if to torture him to manage to take the life out of him? It seems the bull also clings on to life the same way a person would, and it shows in his eyes too. But I want to emphasize my indifference to slaughtering and roasting some beef. I don't believe there's any error anywhere in this system. After all, someone has got to be fired that another one can thank the Lord for a new job. I've learned that every creature experiences life as the center of the universe and as foreign to the rest of the arrangement, as though godliness only incarnates through its kind, when facts are life is as glorious to humans as it is to a fly hopping on and off shit. Did you know that your dog on a leash also experiences you as mere nature? You're not anything special to him unless you tender, feed, and shelter him. The dog, in other words, creates you in his own image. And that right there is evidence that he's also 100% God. This is true of every belonging to the universe. It is a universe in itself. Take, for instance, the cells running the machine that is you. When a doctor studies just one of these under a microscope, he learns of a whole different world in the cell. But when we zoom out of it to take a look at its surroundings, we notice it's just a component in a living person's oxygenated blood. And with reasonable certainty, we must agree with the fact that the cell's inside world is unaware of this oxygen or its origin, yet it's on which the organism entirely depends. Now, within this environment, we notice something else. Other cells, whose movement seems so individualistic, it in fact creates a fight. But this contest, when looked at from a further perspective, is what keeps an organ such as the heart alive. It is only able to beat under the crushing of over 37 trillions of distinctively willing cells. Yet to them, this arrangement is a totally unarguable oblivion. Let's take a walk around the heart. Do you see how simple it is for her to assume no relationship with her neighboring organs? The liver or the lungs? Even more insanely would be to assume that the heart is aware of the brain, unless they perhaps came across each other in a car accident. Under which condition both wouldn't be alive to have to worry about it. Now, in this next moment, we mindfully look around us. Notice this. Stupid, thoughtless nature directly resembles the world inside us. Rivers and creeks run underneath our skin the same way they cross through Earth's crust. Roots run from up to deep into our souls. For myself, the imagery of the clouds often strikes me as that of the brain. Earth. We love to think of it as a rock somehow blessed with life, but neither are we inseparable from the bonds. Simply put, we are the blueprint of this whole being. But comfort is found in concluding on all of this as coincidence or random similarity. But we are not at all different from nature. We are part of it, just experiencing it from a comparative perspective. As anything else. If you don't believe this, stand on the edge of a tower and hover your sight over city traffic and tell me how much of it doesn't resemble staring down at a rail of ants fidgeting to take back home a breadcrumb. There's just a complexity in us tolerating the belief in the possible existence of much bigger sentient beings that couldn't see us with their naked eye. We just couldn't explain them. The same way an ant blocked in your shoe sole pattern couldn't explain you if it tried to. Do you have an idea of where it perhaps could begin? And so it seems we're also cells or organs in a much bigger body than our human mind would ever claim to comprehend. Thank you. This one is in Kinyarwanda. Yitwa Bwiza bwa Kabi. Yeah. Bwiza bwa Kabi. By the way, you can find this on YouTube. You can find them everywhere. Bwiza bwa Kabi. Kuva imyaka myinshi itavugwa neza umubare mbere y'amavuko ya Yesu Kristo, abantu twahimbaga inkuru zo kugira ngo tugerageze gusobanura imimerere y'isi natwe ubwacu akenshi tutasobanukirwaga, cyangwa ngo dutsimbarara bagaragazaga ubushake bwo gutekereza ku bintu byasaga nk'ay'icyo gihe bitabafitiye akamaro mu buzima. Zimwe muri izi nkuru zafashije igihe runaka, izindi zanzitse imyaka magana zifatwa nk'aho ariyo mazima. Ndibuka tukiri bato tutarajya ku ishuri iyo wakuraga iryinyo bakubwiraga kurirenza inzu ngo akanyamaza kazakuzanira irindi, sibyo? Ikindi gihe tukabwirwa gushyira rya ryinyo mu nguni y'inzu ngo imbe bize kuritwara isijya inyuma amafaranga. Ariko aho duciriye akenge tumenye ko imbe bitaragera muri business y'ifaranga. Ikitugoye noneho aho dukuriye ni ukubona kandi tutigeze tumenya twahoze mbere y'uko tuzaha ku isi ariho n'ubundi tuzasubira nitubimenye ko turiyo. Ni wantungira agatoki kawe aha kuka wasohoye bwa nyuma kaba kagiye nubwo gasa nakagarutse. Iyo usinziriye ntubimenya ko usinziriye kuko kumenya bijyana n'ububyuke nyine. Ntibyanakorera gusobanura gusinzira icyo ari cyo. Yego buri mu bitotsi, ariko se mu bitotsi hasa hata? Ntiwahasobanura kuko nta kumenya kwawe kwigezeyo. Ariko rero ntushobora guhura n'ahazamuka ngo hafi cyane yaho habura hamanuka, cyangwa ngo usobanure umwijima utifashishije urumuri. Wagerageza da? Ni muri ubwo buryo bumwe rero kubaho kujyana no kutabaho. Niba rimwe waragize itangiriro, irindi rimwe nyine ukazagira iherezo. Umunsi uzagenderaho ni nka kashe, naho ubundi urupfu rwo rukwanditseho nk'itariki yawe y'amavuko. Uyu mubano rero w'imbusane ku buryo ziba ikintu kimwe kitatandukanwa nibwo buzima. N'umwuka duhumeka ari cyo kimenyetso cyabwo ntigitandukira gushimangira ukuri kwibi. K'imbere hajyana n'inyuma, amazi akagendana n'amazi. Gusa koko habaye hari utunga gatoki, niyo mpamvu uwagerageza gutandukanya amavuko n'urupfu yaseba. Bisa no gutegera igihe cyawe kuzavumbura umusozi udaturanye n'igikombe. Niyo kandi wagerageza kwiyubakira uwo musozi, ni nk'uko neza n'ubundi waseba. Ntiwatunga kimwe ngo wirinde ikindi, kuko kibiriya nyine ari cyo gisobanuro cy'iki. Ngicyo rero icy'amanywa maze ijoro n'ubuzima bukagikenesha urupfu ntibitandukanwe, yewe niyo waba umuriro. Gusa koko habaye hari utunga gatoki, agategeka urusobe rw'ibibera munsi y'izuba uko byakabaye kose, uwo twumvisha ushaka nyuma ya byose kuzazanesha urupfu. Ubwo ugira ngo ntiyabashatse kwitobora inda se? Aragambira gutsemba urupfu arwitirira ikibazo, ariko noneho nk'injiji yirengagije ko ikibazo ari cyo 100%, mahirwe y'igisubizo. Idini ni nk'inkirisha ubwatsi bwitwa ubujiji, kandi irashisheye. Gusa ubuzima bw'isegonda kurindi budukangurira by'agaciro, habura gusa uwaba hanze amaso agandukiye ngo yige. Ahubwo tukanyagwa imitima n'izi nkuru z'ubuyobe, umuntu ntabeho byo kubaho. Kandi buryo usibye no kuba byoroshye, nta no kubohorwa nyako nko gusobanukirwa ko ubundi umuntu muzima yakabaye. Ibyo gusa. Kuko igihangayikishije benshi gituma bacikanwa ubuzima batazigera mu by'ukuri bakimenya. Wenda se tugoreka imitekererezeho gato, dushushanya ubwo buzima intare zizarisha ibyatsi, dore ko buzira kabi. Naguhamiriza ntashidikanya ko nta byishimo byaburanga. Wazamenya gute se ko wishimye kandi ari cyo cyonyine uzi? Hanyuma se bikazakumarira iki kwishima iteka n'iteka ariko ntubisobanukirwe? Logique y'ijuru yo rwose tuyita inyuma kuko itujuje ibyangombwa by'ubuzima. Cyakora nagutekerereza igisa n'ijuru, kuko ubu mbona mu muriro utazima ari wo twitirira igihe nta kitashobokera umwana w'umuntu, kandi ku giti cye pe ntavuze ivuzi rya Mana. Shushanya rero nk'umunsi indwara hafi ya zose zabonewe umuti.